Today I'm helping my friend Camille with a really nice project. She has an incredible brand called Maison Collectible. She curates incredible furniture pieces and has a really nice collection. If you want to check her Instagram, I'll make sure to link it below. She asked for my help today because there are two really nice chairs that had an issue with the current fabric that was used for the lounge chairs, and so it's going to be a simple sewing project, but it's going to make a big difference. She ordered some fabric online, which is this really nice fabric here, and we are just simply going to recreate the two supports or the two backs for these lounge chairs. It's a pretty straightforward sewing project, but again, it will allow for the chairs to have a second life, and as you know, that's what I'm all about. So I'm happy to give her a little help here and perhaps teach her how to sew. No, that's not gonna happen, guys. We basically have two rectangles of fabric to sew. So we have enough of the new fabric. There is a slight color difference between the old fabric and the new one. I think that's fine. It does look different when you put them side by side, but if you just look at this one, I think it's still gonna match with the wood tone and the cushions that the chairs have, which are a really nice brown. I think what would make the most sense is to actually fold it in half so we only cut once. Okay. So even though Camille is not gonna learn how to sew today, I'm still gonna share, a few knowledgeable tips. This side here is the salvage. You want to follow this direction if you want to cut something straight, not on the bias. That's what we want to do. It's nice and sturdy if you go in this direction. I'm just going to fold in half lengthwise. Typically, you've got this salvage edge that is the sturdiest on both sides. Not today, but cutting is not what takes time. What takes time is to make sure that it is nice and straight. Okay. Here, so you really pick the right amount of fabric here. Voila, nice and straight, both layers. Okay, I'm going to mark the fabric. I'm doing 2 layers at once. On this side here, you want 4 1/4 plus, I'd say 1/2 inch. Is what they did here. Well, actually they did 3/4 of an inch. So we're gonna do 5 inches more on this side, and we'll just make sure that both are the same. That's also 4 1/2 plus 3/4, so that's 5 inches. And because I am very conservative when it comes to cutting fabric, I really wanna, you never know, you'll still have a little strap, maybe you're never gonna use it, but just it's a good practice to reduce fabric waste. And here on this side, they probably just folded twice over. So that's 3/4, and then I would say I'm gonna do 1.5 inches. The problem here is that I only have the salvage on one side. So I'm just gonna stay away from it so everything is exactly the same. Make sure that I've got 1.5 inches here. As always, what takes the longest is prep. Let's not pin your nice rug. I'm going to pin this so I cut both layers in the right spot. Again, because I want clean work. Et voilà. Voilà, measure 72 times, cut once, as they said. Soon your rug is going to be famous. next step is a very important step. Ironing is gonna really help create a very clean result. We've got 2 kiddos running around, so my friend just made sure that the kiddos are playing in a different room. We just really don't want them to get hurt with the iron or the all of the pins, because we've got a 1.5-year-old and a 4-year-old. So, you know, just making sure that everybody is safe. There's a very, very intense heat wave, and so using the iron is a little bit too much, but at least we've got AC in this space, which is not the case everywhere. Here, I don't think that there is a right side and wrong side for this fabric. So first I'm gonna do the edges, and I need to turn it in 3/4 of an inch. So I'm gonna turn it in, iron, and then turn it in again. And I don't need to measure the entire thing. Once I get started, I know approximately what 3/4 are, and I can just iron all the way down. And I mean, once it's ironed, you don't even need to pin, which is really nice. Same on the other side. Let's see, I want to do another 3/4 of an inch here. That's going to be a lot of layers to sew together. This I'll want to measure 4 1/4.
Et t'as vu?
Montre-moi. Oh! Tu as gagné les Jeux Olympiques?
Non, j'ai gagné une médaille de mon tennis à moi.
C'est pas vrai. Mais c'est super ça! I just pinned along this side. I'm gonna iron this really nicely. Do the same on the other side. I was just telling my friend how we think of sewing, we think it's just about, you know, stitching at the machine, but really that takes not a lot of time at all. What takes a really long time is all of the prep work. Merci mon chéri, and I've got my little assistant here bringing me a wonderful glass of water. Thank you, honey. Wow, guys, it is so hot. My camera has been overheating 7 times since I started filming, but you get the idea. Ironing takes a long time, but it is so important to have a clean finish. Any good seamstress will tell you that this step is so important. So I'm done ironing this piece. I am gonna do the exact same thing on the other one, and then we'll move on to stitching onto the machine. We had a technical interruption here. So if you see that the iron is different, that is because the previous one stopped working. That's right. Hein, oui, je vais te faire un pyjama avec.
My name is Joseph.
Super, great job, honey.
3, 2, 1. Oui. T'as fait déjà tout ça?
Eh ouais.
T'es rapide.
Eh ouais, je suis efficace, moi. Oh.
Oh, mais comment tu fais avancer ça?
Hop. Voilà. Va montrer à ta mère comme c'est propre. Allez. Hop. Merci. On n'irait pas prendre le bain, ça vous dirait pas? I am pooped, but I'm glad it's done. I was able to sew everything. We had such a good time with the kiddos. It's definitely harder to sew with little kids running around. You also want to be careful with the pins, the scissors. You really don't want them to hurt themselves. My friend and I were very cautious and still had a wonderful time all together this afternoon. So it took me about 4 hours to complete this project. If I wasn't filming or if the kids weren't around, it would probably have been around 2 to 3 hours, I would say. And if the iron was working from the beginning, so probably around 2 hours. So I'd say it's a fairly quick sewing project. It's a fairly easy one, but I'm really glad that I get to do this for my friend. Don't forget to check out my friend's website for beautiful furniture pieces. I post new videos every Wednesday and Sunday, so I really hope I get to see you in my next video. I hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you so very much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.
Bye.